Hey everybody, today I want to talk to you about a Ken Sewing Center exclusive, the Janome Heavy Duty HD-1400. The HD-1400 is taken off of concepts of some of the previous HD models, but we've improved on this one and we'll show you here in just a minute why. So let's give you a good overview of the machine and see all the features that's built in on the HD-1400. If you'll notice here, I have not one but two built-in spool pins. I can recess them down and out of the machine when I'm not using them. This is nice, so now I can sew with a twin needle if I want to, or if I want to stage a specialty thread, I'm able to do that with ease. I do have a built-in carrying handle. The machine is going to weigh about 14 pounds, but you'll notice also on this machine I have channeled threading all the way to my needle, and then I have a built-in needle threader here to thread the needle for me. The machine does have extra high pressure foot lifts, so those thicker materials I'm able to get up under the machine. I've got plenty of feed dogs touching my garment, so I'm going to be able to feed the threads easily. And I do have markings on my needle plate to help me give me a seam allowance from my needle. The machine will have adjustable pressure, and we do have some pictures showing on the side of the machine I will have a pressure adjustment, and that is regulating the amount of force being pressed down onto my garment. So if I have a lighter weight garment, I'm able to back my pressure off, or if it's a little bit heavier garment, I can add to that so it's got enough pressure to hold it to my feed dogs to feed perfectly. The machine does have removable accessory tray, and we'll have the easy to use front loading bobbin system. I just take my bobbin case out. There's one slit I put the thread in. I'm able to thread my bobbin case back up, and it's out of the way. It's all metal. And I do have drop feed for the free motion. If you're into quilting and do free motion work, or if you're putting on a button, or just darning a hole, you want to have the feed dogs not touching the material. Just notice the long and easy to see ruler on front. The bed of the machine is nice and big, so I've got plenty of comfortable sewing room. And then this is really nice here. I can easily open up the accessory tray and access all of my presser feeder. I have extra bobbin spindles built in here that I can put and stage all my bobbins, and then when I'm finished it just closes right back up nice and neat. Machine does have built-in reverse, so for doing our back tacking I've got all that built in. Now let's look at the stitch diagram, and I'm going to show you what these controls on top are for. Here's a huge advantage to some of the previous HD models is I have my pattern selector dial here, and if you'll notice on the selector dial there's letters, and it corresponds to my stitch diagram on the machine, which it has a very good variety of stitches built into the machine. I can adjust the length on all my sewing patterns, and I can adjust the width on all the sewing patterns. And that's something you don't see on many of the HD models. Another thing, if you'll notice on our stitch selector, is I can turn this to this SS, and that stands for stretch stitch. Built into the machine, I can set my machine for this bottom layer of stitches to be dialed up. So if I want to do a straight stretch stitch, the machine will sew two stitches forward, one in reverse, automatically back tacking the material. I can move my needle over if I go to letter B, and then I can move my width button, and I can be able to move my needle over for getting up close to zippers, or if you're putting in piping, or if maybe you just have a metal piece, a rivet or something that you're trying to stay around or get up close to. I'm able to move my needle over. Then I do have a zigzag stitch, and I can go to stretch stitch, and I've got a rick-rack stitch or a double straight stitch. I have a stretch blind hem with a left tack, a standard blind hem to the right tack, a blunt end, right blind hem, and then I'll have some decorative stitches that are built in. And if you'll also notice down here, I will have some overcasting stitches, blanket stitch. This is a surging stitch here to overcast the edge of a garment. So if you'll see, there's a wide variety of built-in stitches and also the 4-step buttonhole. Let me show you how easy it is to thread the HD-1400. Then I'm going to show you just how heavy material it can sew, what all you're going to be able to do with this machine. Everything is going to be channeled all the way down to my needle. And once I get to my needle, I do have a built-in needle threader. It'll shoot a little barb right through the eye of the needle. And I can easily thread the needle. And now my needle's threaded. And threading the bobbin case is super easy on this machine. I just place my bobbin into the bobbin case. There is one slit here. I'll just pull the thread through and I've threaded the bobbin case. Here I have a standard weight denim and I'm going to fold it over. There's 2 layers, 4 layers, 8 layers of material that we're going to sew through. This basically represents the side seam on a pair of jeans. It's probably a little heavier than that. And most of the time you're not going to be sewing anything heavier than this, though I do believe the machine's capable of a little bit more. But notice here I have extra high lift under my presser foot. Now I want to make sure that I've got my machine set on straight stitch and I'm ready to go. And I'm going to sew through this material through a standard cotton material and then through stretch material. And I'm going to show you we're not going to have to adjust our tensions. I don't have to worry about that. Don't have to worry about any puckering or anything of that nature. And I'm sewn through 8 layers of denim, through a cotton, and through the stretch material, and there's no puckering. Perfect stitching. Feel free to give us a call anytime with questions on the HD-1400. If you need us to compare to another model or help you in any way, Ken Sewing Center provides toll-free customer support for the life that you own the machine. You can call us anytime with any question, whether it's how to use an accessory or if you think you're having an issue with the machine or what do we recommend for you to do the sewing project you're wanting to do.